Evet, merhabalar. Hoş geldiniz. Herkese iyi akşamlar. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our lesson. Today we are going to talk about the genitive case and then the important subject which is called the compound nouns. When we talk about things, we always use this in Turkish. I also added this brief summary. For example, there will be like 3 sections in this lesson. The first one will be about the genitive cases or the genitive case suffixes and possessive suffixes. We will talk about their differences. And to keep it simple, I put them in 2 categories like possessor and the possessed. That way it's better to memorize and it's more clear. And then we will talk about the compound nouns. As you can read in the title, it's like a unit, like a phrase, formed with 2 nouns or sometimes more, using the genitive case and possessive suffixes. So first we'll learn the suffixes, then we will learn how to use them. Okay? And when we are about to finish, we will talk about interesting details and reminders. And that's all. So let's start. Hemen başlayalım. What is the genitive case? What is the terminology? What is the description? What do we mean when we say genitive case? I want to keep it simple. I want to make this lesson learner friendly. Not everyone is familiar with all these terms. So I want to keep it in a level, like in a way that everyone can understand. So it is basically a possession. And I want to, emphasize that the possession is like grammatical, not physical, not like in reality. So, for example, when I say my school, it's like grammatically my school. I'm not the owner of the school, but it is just the school that I go, like my school. And when you add this s suffix on English words like the school's garden, the child's name, when you make a possession, we use the same, not the same, but we use the same method, but we use different suffixes. We sometimes use the genitive adjectives. They are also known as possessive determiners, and then genitive suffixes. And yes, like when you say my Turkish learning server, it's like the server that you always join, but like it's not technically the owner. This is only about the grammatical aspect. I mean, that's clear, but I just want to make it emphasize that when you are the owner, we use a different word for this, different ways to talk about it. So let's see what's next. What are the genitive adjectives and what are the suffixes? So I will again make it simple. The genitive adjectives are basically like I, and then it goes to my, and then you, and then your. He, she, it to his, her, its. I will show these in a table just in a bit, just explaining what it means. And then like we, the personal pronoun we, but when it's the adjective, when it's the genitive adjective, it goes to our. So we, our. They kind of change to a different word. In Turkish, the change also happens with suffixes. Just so you can see it here. Ben, I, sen, you, o, he, she, it. We only have o. Biz, we, siz, you, like plural you or formal you, onlar, they. And when you use them like my, your, her, our, your, their. This is how we use these changes. By the way, the music stopped for some reason. Let me play it again. Anyway. Okay, the music is, the bot is refusing to play. Interesting. Okay, so let's continue without the music, unfortunately. And there are a few things to remember. There are a few things that you need to pay attention to. And let's see what those are. So, these adjectives are optional. Unlike English, we don't always need them. You don't always need to type them in a sentence. Because there's a reason for that. When you have like my car, unlike English, we also use another suffix on car. In English, you only say my car to indicate the possession, but we use two suffixes. We put suffixes on two of the nouns. Benim arabam, yes. There's already an indicator on the car. Like, there's already an ending that shows who the car belongs to. That's why we don't need the extra adjective. We only use the extra adjective when it needs to be emphasized. Sometimes we need them. Sometimes we don't need them. It completely depends on the sentence. And understanding when to use it requires practice. So you need to develop a kind of feeling for it. So, wait a second, and yes, like when you need to emphasize that it is my car, you can use benim arabam. But when you are casually talking about like my car, then you don't need it. You can simply say arabam. We will see more examples on this later. And now the second part, the possessive suffixes. The suffixes that are added to the second noun. But the name can be misleading because when I say possessive suffixes, it sounds like that thing is the owner, like it possesses something. But on the contrary, it is something that is being possessed. Like that someone else or something else owns this word. So I want to keep it simple. So that's why I will use a different terminology. I will use different terms. The possessor and the possessed. This way you can clearly see the owner and whatever is being owned. And one more attention before we go. So the genitive adjectives, oh, I already talked about this. You can safely drop them, as I said. And in the table below, we will see all the suffixes that are used together. So now this table is very important. And some people enjoy having these cheat sheets, so that's what I put it that way. So for example, benim is used with this suffix. The parentheses indicate that it is optional. It's not that important. Like, it depends on the case. but the M and then senin and then onun, maybe I can also type it like this. I mean, this is four-way vowel harmony, so you can follow me here. Im, and then ın, wait, wait, no. Every time it goes to the four-way vowel harmony, it uses the like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the four-way vowel harmony. I, u, ü. And same for this. Like this. S, si, su, su. And again, this time the vowel is between two letters. So we will change the vowels, this one and this one. Imız, imiz, umuz, ümüz. And we will use the same method for this one. So it goes like ınız, iniz, unuz, ünüz. And the last one, the first one is an L, the second one is an I. So like ları, leri. Just a different, like a small exception, it is two-way. You can't have like luru, that won't be correct, or you can say luru. These are wrong, so I will just cross them. Just remember that it's two-way. Okay? We will use these suffixes. Now let's finally talk about how to use these suffixes. Yes. So there are actually two steps. First step, you need to define the possessor by using the genitive adjectives. And this is an optional part. You don't need to do that always. The second step, define the possessed noun by using the possessor's endings. By like possessor's endings, I mean if the possessor, if it's like my, you need to use the same suffix that goes with my. Like this table. And let's do it. My school. Maybe, wait, I can bring the table. So I can do it here. It's better if you see it yourself. Yes. Wait, I wonder why the table is not appearing. I will do it that way, without the presentation. So let's do this. My school. We have benim. So the possessor is benim. And the possessed noun is school is okul. So now let's check the suffix. There's an benim okulum. So my school is benim okulum. Yes. And then senin, your. Let's check this one. Senin. And senin uses in. Senin. Okul. And let's check the final letter. It's a consonant, so we need the extra vowel. Senin okulun. And let's do one more example. Like, let's try a different one. His. Wait, yeah, right. Senin. So what is house? It's ev. Senin evin. Your house. And his, let's say that his cat. Good example, his cat. Possessor here. So his is onun. And possessed noun is. Onun uses this s. We need to check the last letter. So kedi is a kedi, like cat. There's a vowel at the end. So we will use this buffer. Onun kedisi. What will it mean if you said benim okullim? It will still mean the same thing, just a different misspelling. It will count as a typo. It wouldn't change the meaning. It will be spelling it in the wrong way. Like instead of saying sukul, just change the vowels, like skill, for example. Wait, that changes the meaning, but I mean, just change a letter, it becomes a typo. So, and let's have one more example. Let's use our lesson. So lesson is ders. So our is, let's check, bizim. Bizim, exactly. And possessed noun is, bizim uses this ımız, imiz, umuz, umuz endings. First, we are checking the final letter. It's a consonant, so we need the extra vowel. We need the ı or e, and the vowel harmony. After e, we will use e. So bizim ders imiz. Bizim dersimiz. Dersimiz. S and M cannot be used together. You need to say dersimiz. Okay, and let's do more examples in the chat. So, for example, if I give you like his phone, how would you say this? You can check the table. Yes, onun telefonu. So onun, his, and it uses ı, but the last letter is a consonant. With this third singular person, you don't need the buffer. So onun telefonu, you don't need the s. We need the s with kedi because kedi ends with this I, but telefon, it ends with n. Onun telefonu. Okay, so I think this part is clear. Oh, we have our table. I think this part is clear. So if there are no questions about this, I will move to the next part. So far, it could be confusing if you don't know the vowel harmony, but like this all depends on the vowel harmony. As Megan typed in the chat, it is just based on the harmony. You are just checking the type of the vowel, if it's like a, I, o, ö, and then you are checking the final letter. If it's a consonant, there's a different condition. If it's a vowel, there's a different condition. And maybe like when you're still a learner, when you're still a beginner, trying to decide these things can take time. It can take too much thinking. You just need to practice and you will, gain speed. Instead of spending too much time on thinking like kedi, it's a vowel, so we need the S. All this process can go faster with practice. Okay, so the second section of the lesson, the actual important part, compound nouns. So a compound noun is basically a phrase that is formed with two and sometimes more words. Wait, words, there's a typo. In English, you will have these examples. I added them already, but the important part that is like unique to Turkish is the suffixes we use. Like in English, they don't use any suffixes. It's just toothbrush, post office, bus stop. But in Turkish, we use the possessed suffixes. So I want to go back. We use these suffixes on the second one. And in Turkish books, there are technically two types of these compound nouns, but the first one, the definite one, is basically just saying like my thing, like the cat's eye, the child's, I don't know, backpack, the child's lessons. So the second part is more important. And when it's indefinite, when you have snowball, for example, you only need this s. So let's do it together. Snowball. In order to make these formations, you need to have the vocabulary, I know. That's why I will put it this way. Snow is kar, and then ball is top. We are using this one, the possessor suffix. So kar topu. Okay, kar topu. If I include this n on the possessor, karın topu, with this example, it won't make sense, like the snows, as if the snow is a definite thing. The snow's ball, yes. But let's have the other example, toothbrush. So tooth is dish, and brush is fırça. Yes, Danica, there's no mutation because top is one syllable. It's simply kar topu. And now dish and fırça, like tooth and brush. We are using this one again. Dish, fırça, s. Diş fırçası. If I say dişin fırçası, with this example, it will make more sense. Dişin fırçası, the tooth brush, as if like one specific tooth and it has a brush. So we don't use it unless we need to make it definite. Okay, and the next one, post office. Yes, posta ofisi or simply postane or postane ofisi, they all work. So I will call it posta ofisi but shortly postane. It's a specific, special name. Sometimes instead of saying postane ofisi, we say postane şubesi. Şube is like a branch, and you can ask, is there any post office here, around here? Burada postane şubesi var mı? And the next one, yes. So bus is otobüs, and stop in this context like a durak. So we use this second suffix. Otobüs durağı. There's a consonant mutation because there's a K at the end and there's a vowel. We don't need the S because K is a consonant. It doesn't end in a vowel. So otobüs durağı. If I say otobüsün durağı, that will make it definite. It will sound the bus's stop. Like it's as if we are talking about a specific bus. I think another example to show the difference would be as this example. I always use this. Çocuk çantası. This is like a child bag, like a bag that is made for children. But when you say çocuğun çantası, this time it makes it definite, as if like a specific, the child's bag. Okay? There's always this difference. So now let's speed up a little bit. Laundry machine. That one is interesting. Actually, no. Dishwasher is interesting. But let's do laundry machine first. Çamaşır, laundry, and machine, makine. Çamaşır makinesi. There's a vowel at the end, so you need the S. And after E, after E, you need E. Çamaşır makinesi. And now, dishwasher. In English, it is called dishwasher, but in Turkish, it is called dish machine. The same way as laundry machine. So, bulaşık, and then makine, bulaşık makinesi. We call it a bulaşık makinesi. So, and also there are these ones like birthday. So birth is doğum and day is gün. So let's check the last letter. There's a consonant. So we don't need the S. And Ü requires Ü. So doğum günü. Exactly. And then bathroom. So bath is banyo. And then oda is room. And that's the interesting part. We don't say banyo odası. We simply call it banyo. Banyo odası, but just banyo. No one calls it banyo odası. Or lavabo, yes. Lavabo is actually, you know, the sink. But instead of calling it like a bathroom or like a toilet, people say lavaboya gidiyorum. I'm going to the bathroom, I'm going to the sink, literally. Things can be different depending on the context. And other common digital examples. YouTube channel. Yes, YouTube, same word. Channel is kanal. So the last letter is a consonant. We don't need the S. And after A, we will need I. YouTube kanalı. And yes, Discord, same word, and server is a sunucu. There are too many U's. And it ends with a vowel. It ends with U. This time we need the S. And after U, you need U. So, Discord sunucusu. So, yes. This is the main logic, main idea behind putting two words together to make a new concept from them. Like toothbrush, diş fırçası. Let's have your other examples. Feel free to write your own examples. Lavanta yağı, nice. Lavanta and yağ, like lavender oil. Or I'm not sure what they call it, but you know the traily car, like behind horses, people sit in it, at least in the old times, and sometimes on specific parts, like horse and car. I'm not sure what it's called, but at arabası, or specifically fayton, but at arabası, horse, car, and internet sitesi, yapışkan kağıdı. Tarık, there's a difference with this one. Yapışkan is an adjective, like sticky. Adjectives don't use these suffixes. So it is simply yapışkan kağıt. No ı ending. İstanbul Üniversitesi. Exactly. İstanbul Üniversite, İstanbul Üniversitesi. Kelime listesi. Correct. Word list. So kelime listesi. This reminds me, I'm sure most of you know, but what is vocabulary in Turkish? Yes. Kelime hazinesi. Kelime is word. Maybe I can type this one. I will make a new slide just to type out these new examples. So vocabulary is kelime hazine, kelime hazinesi. Literally word treasure, like a treasure of words. And kelime bilgisi, that one is grammar. Sözlük is dictionary. Sözlük is just another word for kelime. So, grammar. Sometimes people call it grammar, that works. But dil and then bilgi becomes dil bilgisi. So language information or language knowledge, I'm not sure. But dil bilgisi. Bilgi is information, knowledge, it can mean all of them. Soru bankası. Yes. Soru bankası. So like question bank. It's basically a book with so many questions in it. Jasmine, it technically works because üst, yes, the ü is the possessor suffix. Diz üstü, yeah, so it counts. Çalışma, kitabı. Sırt, çantası. Köprücük, kemiği. Okay, so now that this is clear, let's talk about something more interesting and important to remember. So yeah, this lesson's goal was try to introduce you to the subject, not to teach everything in one lesson. There will be still mistakes, I'm sure. You just need to do practice. You can start doing the practice by doing the homework and talking to your Turkish friends, I don't know, doing your own exercises. But next time you have this, you will know how it works. So yeah, thank you Megan, thank you Jasmine. Thank you everyone else for joining. And pazartesi görüşürüz. Kendinize iyi bakın. İyi akşamlar.